Mr. Kemp always teaches us about Bermuda history, and writer's workshop, and I think he's really inspired me to learn through the way that he's taught me. You know, I don't think that's just for me. I think he's inspired everybody to learn. He's just made everything so fun, and I think he's really a treasure as a teacher and as a person to Bermuda.
What was your first impression of Mr. Kemp?
My first impression of Mr. Kemp, I said, man, I knew Mr. Judd for a couple years before I met Mr. Kemp. And it was like such a striking resemblance between the two of them. And I always said, like, this is Mr. Judd in like 30 years. And which is actually a compliment to both of them, because Mr. Judd's kind of like a cool young guy, and Mr. Kemp's a cool older guy. They're both Bermudians, they have a lot of similar interests. And I knew from the beginning that we would all get along. I got along really well with Mr. Judd, I got along really well with Mr. Kemp, and they got along really well with each other. I think they did have a bit of like a father-son relationship.
What will you always remember about Mr. Kemp?
Man, just I guess the layers of knowledge that Mr. Kemp had. I mean, he taught years ago at Saltus. He then went to international business for many years. As you know, he was phenomenally intelligent about Bermuda's history. He knows stuff about Bermuda's history that probably no one else in Bermuda knows. So if you spent some time with Mr. Kemp going around Bermuda, he would tell you the history behind this house and this street and this parish. And I mean, he just had that deep level of knowledge. I'll say, in general, like, I'll quote Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou said that people seldom remember what you say, they even forget what you've done, but they never forget how you made them feel. And for me, Mr. Kemp was that guy, that type of guy. He always made you feel like $1,000,000. Whenever he was around, he always lit up the room. When he came into the room, he was always smiling. He was like, hey, bye, let's talk some humanities. And he'd sit down, and up to the very end, before he got diagnosed, he was saying, how can I get more into the classroom? I taught M2, M3, M4, and M5, and he taught M1s, and he was like, what can I do to be part of, you know, the M3 class, the M4 class? So he was always trying to use his knowledge to help the students.
What do you think Mr. Kemp's biggest impact on the Somersfield community was?
I think his biggest impact is just himself. Like, he brings a part of Bermuda's history that no one else could bring. Like, I love history, I love Bermuda's history, but I have nowhere near the knowledge of history that Mr. Kemp has. So that connection to Bermuda homes, to boating, to the fishing industry, to all the things that really made Bermuda great. So he knows a lot about Bermuda's sailing and fishing history. That was a big part of Bermuda in the 17th and 18th centuries. He was part of international business, which is a big part of Bermuda's economy today. So I mean, I would say just the knowledge, the levels of knowledge that Mr. Kemp has.
He kind of reminded me a little bit of you know, a bit of an older time in Bermuda, a gentler time, one that was a little bit more polite. And I just really enjoyed the experience of having him as a colleague. He is definitely one of the most knowledgeable people that I've met about Bermuda, and he clearly loves the island. I feel like the man has like Bermuda cedar flowing through his blood. He's that Bermudian. I want you to know that we're all thinking of you, missing you. You've got a lot of positive energy down here on campus, kids that you've impacted, and just want to send you our best. So be strong, my friend.